Okay, we've got a banger tonight. There's one we got to get through here. Tonight we're going to talk about this upcoming eclipse event, the path of the eclipse, what it signifies, what it could signify. And I'm pretty sure what I'm about to tell you tonight, you have not heard on your local news station. So first and foremost, what did eclipses mean throughout time, throughout the ancient time? Well, eclipse mean basically it's an end to something, to close a chapter or a new beginning. That is the significance of an eclipse. So that's important to remember that. The eclipse itself signifies a change, an end of a certain thing and a change, for better or for worse. Now, there's something very odd about the path of this eclipse. This eclipse is going through certain cities that pretty undeniably is not a coincidence. When I go through these cities, I think you'll understand what I'm talking about. Somebody somewhere is trying to convey a message to us right now in the present. And when you think about this, okay, the building of America, there was really only one builders that kind of laid everything out, and that was the Masons. And the Masons did have the power to lay these cities out and name them, and they also had the knowledge to know, I mean, you could predict an eclipse 300 years in advance. You can predict the path of the eclipse. So this almost feels to me like it was planned. I'm not saying anything bad about the Masons, because I guarantee you the Mason down the street that you know is probably a really good guy and has no clue about all of this. Trust me, I know. So I'm just going to go through these towns and I'll just let it kind of sink in as I talk. First town I want to mention is Nineveh. Just like the biblical city, Nineveh. Nineveh, Texas. That's the first city. Second city I want to talk about is Nineveh. Nineveh, Indiana. The third city I want to talk about is Nineveh. Nineveh, Ohio. The fourth city I want to talk about, of course, is Nineveh. Nineveh, Pennsylvania. Then we got Nineveh, New York. Nineveh, Nova Scotia. Nineveh, Missouri. This upcoming eclipse is going through all those Ninevehs. Keep that in mind. What is the story behind Nineveh? Well, it goes back to the story of Jonah, where our Creator ordered Jonah to go warn Nineveh to repent for their sins. And Jonah didn't want to do that, so he ran from God. And the moral of the story is that you can't run from God. You can't run from what's coming. So eventually, Jonah went and he warned Nineveh for their evil ways. And Nineveh ended up repenting, and God spared them. That is the moral of the story with Nineveh. So that's kind of wild, right? That's almost like planned. Well, there's some more cities I want to talk about. The first one I want to talk about is Salem. Salem, Indiana. The second city I want to talk about is Salem. Salem, Illinois. The third city I want to talk about is Salem. Salem, Texas. The fourth city I want to talk about is Salem. Salem, Arkansas. Then after that, we have Salem, Ohio. Salem, Pennsylvania. Salem, New York. Salem, Vermont. Salem, South Carolina. Salem, Maine. Salem, Tennessee. And of course, Salem, Massachusetts, the home of the witch trials. Is that not a little bit foreboding for you? The home of witch trials, the home of trial. So you got Nineveh getting put on trial. But I can go a little step farther with the word Salem. Salem comes from the biblical word shalom. And shalom means peace. It also means I'll be waiting for your call. So you got this solar eclipse going through all these cities named Nineveh, that you can go back to the biblical story of you better repent because you can't stop what's coming. You got the solar eclipse going through all these cities named Salem. Trials are coming. It also means I'll be waiting for your call. So that doesn't make you feel real good, does it? And I wish that I could end it here, but I can't. Because obviously there's more. And you know I bring notes. I want to make sure I get everything. Just remember, God ordered Jonah to tell Nineveh to repent for their wickedness. Nineveh, America. I could see the comparison. So we already know eclipse is an end of things. Well, guess what else is going to be present during the eclipse that you'll be able to see? You're going to be able to see a comet. A comet 12P. Also known as the Horned Comet or the Devil's Comet. What a coincidence. What are the chances of that? A one-time event for an eclipse. And we get the freaking Devil's Comet we get to see as well. But that's not all. Of course not. I haven't shaken you up yet. Comets are a harbinger of doom. They always have been. They've always been a foreshadowing, a warning. Comets are a harbinger of doom of what's coming. You cannot stop what is coming. You can't stop a comet. But it gets better because you're also going to be able to see 3 planets at the same time that you see the eclipse, and you get to see the harbinger of doom. You get to see 3 planets as well. What's the likelihood of that? The first one you'll be able to see is Mercury. Mercury symbolizes rationality and reasoning, something our country has completely flipped its lid on. It is a call for reasoning. Again, I believe that is what that means. Like, let's get our head out of our asses and turn things around. The next one you'll be able to see is Venus, which, oh yeah, Venus means beauty. Of course it does. It's beautiful. Venus also stands for Rome's imperial power, the fist of Rome. Could this be telling us that Rome, the fist of Rome, Rome's power is about to come to a close? Not just Rome, but I would have to think modern day Rome. I mean, look at our architecture at Washington, D.C. It's the new Rome. I think everybody understands. I don't think I have to explain it to anybody. They were building the new Rome. So this is saying Rome's empirical power is about to come to a close, and you can't stop what's coming. And finally, it's the last planet is Jupiter, which in Jupiter symbolizes a search for meaning, a search for truth, search for connection, finding that connection again, and higher knowledge. So when you put all this together, you can sit there and you can think that this doesn't mean anything, or you can look at what's in front of your face and realize someone is trying to tell you that you can't stop what is coming. This has been planned a long time. People have known about it. Obviously, you can't get that many cities in a row knowing that that eclipse is going to go through that many cities. But on the bright side is this could be signifying a close to an old system and the opening of a new system, which also goes right in line with the age of Aquarius. We are supposed to be coming out of the darkness, and everybody is supposed to be awakening. And I don't know if you see it, but I can tell you right now, the sites and stuff that I'm on, people are awakening. People are raising their frequencies. It's happening. Whether you believe it or not, it is happening right now. So we can't change other people's minds. We can't change our government. All we can do is decide for ourselves. Do we want to close? Do we want to end with this chapter? Or do we want to use reasoning again, enlightenment, seek truth, connection, and higher knowledge, and start a new beginning? That's what I believe is coming. I believe this eclipse, the path of this eclipse, has been foretold. And whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. Because you can't stop what's coming.